Blackpink's Lisa is one of the most recognized and successful K-pop idols, holding 2 Guinness World Records, a combined 1.2 billion views on her solo singles Lalisa and Money, and she's the first K-pop soloist ever to win an MTV VMA in the US. But why does that matter in today's music market? If you're a fan of Lisa, Blackpink, or you just want to know a little bit more about her, stick around to the end as we dive in to one of the most successful foreign idols and find out why Lisa's unmatched popularity is so important in K-pop and the global music industry. So what the friends, I'm Jonathan Miller and welcome back to Jonathan Miller Music, where we help each other become better artists. Blackpink's Lisa is one of the top K-pop idols, recognized by her infectious hits, fashion choices, brand deals, multilingual abilities, and incredible dancing skills. With 81.7 million followers on Instagram, making her the most followed K-pop idol on the platform, over 700 million streams on Spotify, and having the longest charting K-pop soloist song on Billboard, Lisa is a dominating force not only within K-pop, but within the entire global music market. But why? What makes her so special? Why does it matter, and why should you care? In order to understand Lisa, you've got to understand what she represents. So first of all, I want to remind you that the opinions expressed in this video are generally my own, and it's not my intention to speak over anyone. However, I do want to give a big shout out to all of my Thai friends and resources who helped me out with this video, for giving me their perspectives on Lisa, Thai culture, history, language, and more. Khop kun krap. Your help was amazing. So subscribe if you're new and hit that like button and let me know your favorite Lisa moments in the comments below. Also, just FYI, Thai is not my native language, so if there's anything in this video that I accidentally mispronounced, please do not hesitate to let me know and help me out in the comments too, so that I can continue to practice my Thai and get better. Now really quickly, a word from this video sponsor, DistroKid. DistroKid is an outstanding music distribution platform helping artists like you and me get our music up on places like Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, and Tidal. They offer a wide range of additional features too, broken up into different tiers. So here's some of what you'll be able to get access to right away. At the musician plan, you'll be able to upload as many songs as you want and get your music up on streaming platforms ASAP. You'll be able to upload all your lyrics to and get verified on Spotify and collect any earnings from your music or royalty splits. With the Musician Plus plan, you'll get everything in the Musician plan, plus synced lyrics on Instagram, daily streaming stats so you know how your music is performing. You'll also be able to customize your release a bit more with a custom label name, release date, and pre-order date so you can plan ahead. If you want to add more, you can jump into the label plan and add up to 100 other artists or bands. Not only that, but you'll also get cool tools like Visi Video Generator, promo cards, mini videos, and hyperfollow, all designed to help you promote your tracks and take your music career to new heights. Use my special VIP link to save yourself 7% on your first year's membership with DistroKid. Link is in the description. Lisa might be dripping in gold now, but she didn't start out that way. Since color plays an important role in the way we perceive music, let's rewind the clocks a bit, but only by a couple thousand years or so. The Kingdom of Thailand sits in Southeast Asia and has grown into the second largest economy in the region. Up until 1949, it was known to outsiders as Siam, although this wasn't an official title. The name is thought to have come from many sources, most likely Sanskrit, as India and Thailand share a long history with one another. The two countries have been connected through history, language, and religion especially. There are many Thai words that are of Sanskrit, Pali, and Dravidian origin, which historically come from different regions in India. King Namkhamhaeng the Great conceived the Thai script from the South Indian Pallava alphabet. Trade between Thailand and India in spices, woods, and gold is said to go back over 2,000 years. Long before Siam, Suvarnabhumi was the term used to describe the region and general area where modern-day Thailand exists. Suvarnabhumi literally means golden land or land of gold, and was given to the area due to its abundance in gold deposits in igneous and metamorphic rocks. Gold has been associated with the Thai-Malay Peninsula for thousands of years. After gaining independence from the Khmer Kingdom, the Sukhothai Kingdom began its near 140-year reign. This short period of time is where many people believe the true beginning of Thailand exists. Beautiful architecture and the Thai script were constructed during this time as King Namkhamhaeng helped spread Buddhism across the land. Common Sukhothai architecture includes elephants surrounding a chedi, a lotus-shaped chedi, and depictions of Buddha resting or walking gracefully. The 11th depiction of Buddha describes describes Buddha as having a golden complexion, so many statues of it are made with Thai gold. There even exists a 5-ton solid gold statue of Buddha in Wat Tremi. Thai gold is very unique as it's known to have a very intense yellow color, making it very heavily sought after. It generally has a higher carat value, therefore it is usually more pure than gold you'll find elsewhere. Gold Thai jewelry has a 96.5% purity rating on average, which is about 23 carats, with the remaining 3.5% usually being bronze and silver alloys. Did you know the artistic technique of gold gilding originates from Thailand during the Ayutthaya period, which followed the Sukhothai period and lasted nearly 400 years. Gold gilding, also known as gold leafing, is the process of smashing gold into small, thin foils, which can then be applied to various art pieces, jewelry, and other objects. In conjunction with a natural lacquer varnish derived from local Tonrak lacquer trees, these gold foils can create gorgeous works of art. Gold is symbolic of a lot in Thai culture, beyond just being a status symbol. Due to sumptuary laws up until the middle to late 1800s, gold couldn't be worn by commoners, so it's typically seen as very valuable, especially to older generations, and can even be found in some traditional Thai medicine, like yahom, or as decorative ingredients to luxury desserts, like tong ek. Gold ornaments contain very intricate designs and techniques that often represent ancient craftsmanship, folklore, natural beauty, and local beliefs passed down within communities and families. It's symbolic of security and a way to invest your money. It's also representative of nobility, royalty, wealth, and prosperity. Overall, gold is important to Thailand's history, culture, and language, which a little girl named Lisa from Buriram province knows all too well. Originally named Lalisa Manoban, Lisa was born March 27, 1997, and raised by her Thai mother and Swiss stepfather. Although her last name is often mistakenly romanized as Manobal in English, even going so far as being copyrighted by YG Entertainment later in her life, despite Lisa admitting it sounded really weird, her last name is actually pronounced as Manoban with an N sound. This is because in Thai grammar, if the L equivalent sound law ling appears at the end of a word, it becomes an N equivalent sound. This is because law ling, as it's typically pronounced, can't be used as an ending sound. It's pronounced with the N equivalent sound, thus giving us manoban, which also means taking care of the heart. Lisa began taking dance classes at 4 years old and regularly competed in dance competitions. Traditional dance in Thailand is the main dramatic art form and goes back to the Ayutthaya period, where the performance art aspect began to take shape. Long story short, dance in any form is important to Thai culture. Specializing in hip-hop, Lisa joined a dance crew alongside future K-pop idol Bam Bam of GOT7 and continued competing. As the Korean wave and K-pop's second generation began to grow internationally, at 13 years old, Lisa auditioned for YG Entertainment in Thailand, inspired by the likes of Big Bang and 21. However, while waiting to learn of her fate, Lisa and her family visited a fortune teller who informed her that she should change her name from Prampriya to Lalisa for good luck. Lalisa means person who is praised or commended, and so she legally changed her name, which is actually a fairly common practice in order to bring about good luck in Thailand. And it worked because a week later, YG Entertainment called Lalisa to accept her as YG's first non-ethnically Korean trainee. Out of 4,000 applicants, she was the only one accepted. So she packed up and moved to South Korea a few weeks after her birthday. Lisa at the time did not know Korean, but she did know English. As the only Thai trainee, in order to learn Korean quickly, other trainees were forbidden from talking to her in English, a language she was more comfortable in. This left Lisa pretty isolated for a very long time, and she would often call home to her mom crying about how lonely she felt. And while other trainees were doing relatively normal things or hanging out, Lisa stayed in the basement of YG training, hoping to debut. 5 long years saw weekly rigorous testing, training, and studying for hours on end. After booking her first 2 modeling jobs, and even appearing in Big Bang's Taeyong's Ring-a-Linga music video, Lisa finally debuted in August of 2016 with Blackpink, YG's first new girl group since 21, making Lisa YG's first non-ethnically Korean idol. Crash landing smack dab in the middle of K-pop's 3rd generation, Blackpink began their careers breaking record after record, pushing K-pop into the eyes of a global audience. Perfect all kills on music charts. Hundreds of millions of views. #1 singles around the globe. In just a few short years, Lisa and Blackpink became the most dominating girl group in the world. Internationally beloved and internationally recognized. Lisa, in particular, became enveloped in the world of dance, becoming a pretty tough mentor to others on multiple variety shows, and earning the admiration of other idols like Girls' Generation's Hyoyeon, Jessie, Red Velvet's Seulgi, and more. So when it came time for Lisa's first official solo album, all eyes were on her, and she delivered. Lalisa became the most viewed YouTube music video by a soloist in 24 hours, and the most viewed YouTube music video in 24 hours by a K-pop soloist, with 73.6 million views, earning her 2 Guinness World Records. It was nominated for Song of the Year at the 2021 Mnet Asian Music Awards. It hit #1 in Malaysia and #1 on the US Digital Song Sales chart on Billboard. It also reached #2 on the Billboard Global 200 chart and the Global 200 excluding the US chart. The single album earned the highest first week sales among female K-pop acts, with 736,221 copies sold. The single album's B-side track, Money, went viral on TikTok, prompting it to become the official second single from the album, where it charted for 29 weeks on Billboard, becoming the longest charting song by a K-pop soloist. Its performance video became the fastest one to hit 500 million views, doing so in less than 6 months. Money also became the fastest song to hit 100 million streams on Spotify, hitting the target in just 37 days. And as of this recording, Lisa is the first and only K-pop soloist to ever win an MTV Video Music Award, one of the biggest pop music award shows in the United States. In just a few short years since debuting, Lisa became an inspiration to many and an important figure in music history. But just because you have awards, a lot of talent, and are in the biggest girl group in the world, doesn't mean that everyone likes you. In fact, sometimes it makes them hate you more. While Lisa is one of the most recognizable foreign K-pop idols, it's important to recognize that she is not the only foreign K-pop idol. And when I say foreign, I'm simply referring to idols who are not ethnically Korean. For example, some foreign idols would include Bam Bam and Jackson of GOT7, Sana, Mina, Momo, and Tui of TWICE, Yuta of NCT, Yuxi of G-Idol, Soren from CLC, FX's Amber and Victoria, Lay from EXO, Pentagon's Yuto, Ningning from aespa, Hikaru, Mashiro, and Xiaoting of Kepler, among many others. This of course is just a small sample size and not meant to exclude anyone, but basically K-pop is made up of a lot more than just ethnically or natively Korean people, especially within its later generations. Remember, there is a difference between nationality, ethnicity, and race. Regardless, almost all of these foreign idols will probably be able to tell you the same thing. Representation matters, even when your job is twice as hard, because you oftentimes aren't familiar with the language or culture, and it's just really hard to be a foreigner in general. Being a foreign K-pop idol puts you in a little bit of a weird box. In the case of Lisa, she must adhere to Korea's sets of standards in terms of language, codes of conduct, and ethics, and when she steps outside of Korea into the US, for example, and sings in Korean, she is in a roundabout way an ambassador of Korea, contributing to the spread of South Korean exports and growing interest abroad. She works for a Korean company and therefore also represents YG Entertainment, contributing to the interest in joining the company in young people. Lisa's also part of a girl group, meaning she's also part of representing women in the music industry. Furthermore, she's a little bit of an older Gen Z, representing the Generation 2. However, her Thai ethnicity and nationality cannot be ignored either, because in doing so, it undermines A, who she is, and B, what she's experienced as a Thai native in South Korea. Lisa has not had it that easy, and to quote her herself, "Blinks are not always nice to me." Lisa has been the subject of racist tweets and comments in the past simply because she is Thai. In 2021, a group chat leaked online filled with dehumanizing messages about her, prompting the hashtag #RespectLisa to trend worldwide. In 2019, Lisa received racist comments about her looks at the Golden Disc Awards. They even went as far as saying that because she came to Korea to earn money, she doesn't belong there. Also, while this is still speculation, it is worth noting that fans expressed concern when YG stopped reporting sales of Lalisa. So as of this recording, we still don't know how many total copies she's actually sold. YG's reasons for stopping the reporting is unknown, but regardless, sales of Lalisa were not reported the first 6 months in 2022, leading the circle chart to say Lalisa had 0 sales starting in January 2022. The last sales total number that we know being 809,000 copies. Lisa's own former manager stole 1 billion won from her. When she asked him to invest her money into real estate, he ended up swindling it on gambling. Training as a K-pop idol means you accrue a lot of debt, and what hasn't yet been paid off by the time you debut, typically at SM, JYP, and YG, will be forgiven, so that idols can finally start earning money right away. So just when Lisa finally starts making money from her career, she finds out her own manager can't even be trusted, all because she is a foreigner, and he thought he could take advantage of her. Unfortunately, comments and events like these happen to foreign idols quite often. Somi was once called a mutt and a crossbreed for being Dutch and Canadian. Miss A's Faye was once asked if she showered daily simply because she's Chinese, which is such a weird thing to ask someone. Bam Bam has spoken out about the hate he's received as a Thailand native himself, proving that just because your group is popular doesn't mean that you yourself are. Which isn't fair when the primary reason you're being hated on is because of something you can't change, like where you come from. However, Lisa's achievements put her in an even weirder box. She has been taken advantage of and she gets a lot of hate, but she also has kind of outsold her fellow Blackpink members in a way that only happens when you've got enough people supporting you, despite the loud minority saying awful things about you. That's not a slam on Rosé or Jennie's accomplishments because they deserve their praise too. But Lisa's numbers don't lie. Thailand's rich, beautiful music scene doesn't yet receive the widespread love that K-pop does worldwide, although it is slowly beginning to grow and is currently referred to as the Thai wind, similar to the Korean wave, reflective of the growth of Thai culture, language, food, movies, TV shows, history, and music across Asia and the rest of the world, as Thailand continues to gain more notoriety. Although K-pop might be the mode of transportation that got her up onto the global stage, with all eyes on her now, Lisa hasn't forgotten where that car picked her up. You only need 2 fingers to count all of Lisa's songs on one hand, and yet she is one of the most recognizable stars in the world. And it's not simply because she is a member of Blackpink. Lisa is a global ambassador for luxury brands like Celine, Penshop, and Bulgari. She has her own collection of MAC cosmetics with MAC XL. In fact, MAC's announcement post about their partnership generated $506,000 in media impact value. MIV is an algorithm used to measure the impact of placements and mentions across different voices in the fashion, luxury, and cosmetics industry. And MAC's one mention of Lisa generated them over $500,000. A survey conducted by the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism of Korea found that Lisa is one of the top 20 most popular K-pop idols abroad. Lisa's first solo magazine cover for Harper's Bazaar Thailand sold out of all 120,000 copies printed, which is an additional 60,000 copies over what is normally printed for celebrity covers. For those curious, Lisa is genuinely pretty popular in Thailand, earning the fan nickname Thai Princess among younger and older people. After briefly mentioning missing the meatball stands in her home province while being interviewed on The Woody Show, sales skyrocketed over 3,333%. She donated 100,000 Thai baht to help flood victims affected by the 2019 monsoon in Thailand. Also, in conjunction with YG Entertainment, she joined the Korean Foundation for International Cultural Exchange for Buriram Province to help build a special cultural center to establish a K-pop dance academy staffed by local instructors. However, her Lalisa music video and song is where all of her worlds collide. The music of Lalisa during the dance break, at the urging of Lisa herself, contains traditional Thai music in the background, which doesn't often get heard in K-pop, nor receive that much global attention, though it deserves to. But she took it a step further. Lisa's solo debut was very highly anticipated because of her notoriety. Lalisa takes Thailand's golden history and tradition and thrusts it into the eyes of those who might otherwise never see it. The thumbnail contains Thai script. In the video, she dons multiple traditional Thai garments, complete with headpiece. Her dress, ear cuff, and other jewelry are all handmade or embroidered by Thai-owned brands. Her headdress in particular is inspired by the traditional headpiece that Thai dancers wear called chada. Thailand, Thai people, and Southeast Asia as a whole are often underrepresented in the world of widely recognized popular music, as I said before. So the Prime Minister of Thailand thanked Lisa for her attention to detail, even featuring Thailand's Phantom Rung Stone Castle and giving fans a taste of Lisa's homeland. She took 2,000 years of history and presented it on a golden platter for the world to see. The color gold is featured in the music video and in the text on her cover art and promotional images. Gold symbolizes so much in Thai culture, and she takes all of that symbolism and celebrates that in multiple aspects of what she's doing, whether it's in the forefront or in the background, which is even more powerful given that she is one of the most recognized celebrities in the world. Lisa took what was at one point her biggest disadvantage in life and turned it into her greatest asset. Her unique position as part of a global girl group created an opportunity to not only have a larger discussion about representation in music, but also demonstrates how willing people are to support you when they see themselves in you. Lisa being one of the most popular K-pop idols not only matters for the growth of K-pop, but also for the global recognition of beautiful countries and cultures within Southeast Asia. Is Lisa the only one or the first person ever to represent Thailand? No, of course not. Is she the first person or only person to represent Southeast Asia? No, but her currently unmatched success and position opens the floodgates for more voices to be heard and talent to be recognized, and Lisa knows that. Lalisa Manoban, whether she's an active member of Blackpink or as a solo artist, is not just a K-pop idol. She's living proof that there is a home for everyone in the music industry. There is always more room at the table for more voices to be heard, even when it feels like no one wants to let you in. Lisa is not just representative of Korea or Thailand, she represents both and our growing connectivity with one another as we strive for a deeper understanding of our histories, cultures, languages, and music. Lisa demonstrates the power of representation, what to do with it, and how far it can take us as a global community when given the opportunity. And that's why Lisa's unmatched success matters.